my name is Caddy and I have a lot to speak about today. As you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be my April TPR list. And April is going to be a super exciting month because I am taking part in the magical readathon on Twitter. I've seen it be called the Owl Readathon or the Magical Readathon, so I'm not quite sure which way around it's going to be. But that is the readathon I'm going to be taking part in this month. So if you don't know and you've not heard about this readathon, it is created by Book Roast on YouTube, and basically it is inspired by the different owl exams that you could take in the School of Hogwarts in the Harry Potter world. So for every class, like Defense Against the Dark Arts and Potions and things like that, there is a certain challenge. So I have picked a book for every one of these challenges. Whether or not I get round to all of them, who knows, but I'm being really optimistic and hoping that I get round all of them. I've really started the month off well. It's actually like the 7th of April when I'm starting this, so I've already read some of these books. It's a bit later than I would have wanted to put this TBR up, but better late than never. So without further ado, if you'd like to see the books that I'm going to be reading for the Magical Readathon, just keep watching. So I've got my list on my phone of the books and the different categories that they kind of fulfill. So the first challenge, oh, I don't even have this book with me. We're starting off to a good start because I can't actually find the book. But the first subject is Ancient Runes, and the book I've chose to read for this is Divergent. That is by Veronica Roth. Now, growing up, when Divergent and the Hunger Games were kind of really popular, I was totally team Hunger Games and I didn't even look at Divergent. I know a lot of people really liked both, but I was kind of like team Hunger Games all the way and didn't look at Divergent once. So now I thought it would be a really good time to get on board and read them, especially because I did manage to pick up a couple of the books at a charity shop for like really cheap as well. So that is the first book on my list. It's not the first book I read, I've not touched it yet. Like I said, I don't quite know where it is. I've got a big pile of books in front of my bookcase that don't fit in my bookcase currently, so I'm assuming they're in there somewhere. So the next challenge is Arithmancy, and that was to pick a book that had a number on it. I forgot to say that the Ancient Runes class was to pick a book that had a symbol on the cover. So Arithmancy is to pick a book with a number on it, and for that I am picking Three Dark Crimes. That is by Cassandra Blake. I've heard a lot about this kind of series of books, but I've never read them before, so I am really excited to pick this one up. As far as I can tell, it's a story that is based around 3 female main characters, and in this world, every generation, 3 triplets are born basically, and they have to kind of fight it out to be queen. Now, I believe they have different powers. I'm sure someone has the power of nature. Yep, someone is a poisoner and someone has a fire is her element. So it's just these 3 sisters kind of battling it out to be the next queen. So I thought that sounded really exciting and interesting, and I've been really in a fantasy kick recently, so that kind of goes along with my recent fantasy love. The next challenge was Astronomy, and for this challenge you needed to read a sci-fi book. So for this one, I originally picked Scythe by Neil Shusterman, but unfortunately it's not came from my library yet. I think someone actually else has it taken out until the 20th of April, and then by the time that it got to my library and then by the time I picked it up, it probably wouldn't happen until May. I still have my fingers crossed that maybe they're going to return it a bit earlier, but I picked a different book instead. So instead I'm going to read The Book Night by J.G. Mckenney. So The Book Night is actually it's actually an arc, and I'm really excited to be reading it. I'm reading it courtesy of NetGalley, and I'm reading it on the Kindle app on my phone. So I've already started this one. I'm currently 62% of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. It's gonna be a bit longer than I should probably admit to, but I've discovered that it is a retelling of Arthur at the Round Table, you know, the Sword and the Stone kind of storyline, but it follows our main character Artie, and she lives in a world where books and knowledge and the ability to write is frowned upon, and it's punishable by law. So books that are found are burned, and those who are found kind of hoarding books are imprisoned and killed, and basically it's not great. I would be ruined for all the books that I own. But it follows our main character Artie, and her parents have been taken prisoner, and she is kind of on the run from the government to try, because obviously they want her captured because she can read and because she like has knowledge of books. And it's her trying to overthrow the government with help of a couple friends along the way. I think it was around like 20% through the book, like my phone tells me the percentage, and then it kind of clicked in my head that her name was Artie, and there's like an important, I don't want to give too much away, like there's an important like artifact mentioned in this book, and it's called, what's it called again? Like Excalibur, so that's obviously like Excalibur, the sword. She's helped along the way with someone called Merle, so you know there's a lot of quite obvious ones, and I'm sure there's loads of little not so obvious clues that this is a retelling as well. So like I said, I'm really enjoying that one so far. The next book is another one that I don't actually have with me right now. It's through the house and I just couldn't be bothered raking through all of Reese's books. But the next kind of category that I was looking to do is Care of Magical Creatures, and that is a book that kind of has magical creatures in it, and for that one I am going to read Eragon, and that is by Christopher Paoloni. I probably just butchered his last name there, but so I know I've seen the movie of Eragon, but I can't really remember a lot about it except for a young boy finds a dragony thing and he looks after it, but that's about all I know. I realised that it was a book that I wasn't going to have to pick up from the library because Reese already owned it, so that kind of was my decision there. I didn't really think much about it. But again, it's one that I've kind of wanted to read for a long time, especially when I saw the film. I really wanted to pick up the books because apparently the film doesn't do the book justice, so I've got really high hopes for that. Next challenge that I wanted to look at was Charms, and that is to read a fantasy book. And for that I am reading Scarlet by Marissa Myers. So those of you who have seen my TBR and my wrap up for last month will have realised that I started the Lunar Chronicles and that I really enjoyed the book Cinder. So I'm super excited to get into Scarlet, which is a Snow White or Little Red Riding Hood actually. So it is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, so I'm really excited to get into that one. Again, I don't really know a lot about this one, I just know that I really enjoyed Marissa Myers' writing style in the first Lunar Chronicle book, so I'm super excited to get into that one. The next subject that I looked at is the Defense Against the Dark Arts kind of category, and for that one it was to read a book that had a secret society or a secret club in it. And for that one I picked The City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare, mostly because it also ties into the readathon that I'm doing with the Dreg Society, which is to read all of Cassandra Clare's books. So this is the fourth? I think it's the fourth book in the series, The Mortal Instruments. So it just kind of carries on following our main character Clare as she is kind of dealing with shadow hunters and werewolves and vampires and all of that crazy shenanigans that she has done in the last 3 books. I've not actually picked up a Mortal Instrument book or like a Cassandra Clare's book in quite a long time, so I'm really excited to get back into her writing. I really enjoyed it and I love the story so far, so this is one I'm looking forward to getting into. For the Divination Challenge, that is to read a book that features prophecies, and for this one I picked Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and that is by Rick Riordan. I have wanted to read Percy Jackson for such a long time, but I've just never got round to it. So this is my chance. I'm reading Percy Jackson this month. It follows our main character Percy Jackson, and I believe he's kind of like at a summer camp kind of thing for other like demigods, I think. I have no idea. The son of a Greek god, crazy things goes on. I don't know. I wanted to read it for a long time, so finally getting into it this month. For the Herbology Challenge, that is to read a book that has like nature either in the title or on the cover, or like plants and stuff like that. So for that challenge I have picked up The Hazelwood, and that is by Melissa Albert. This is one I've heard a lot about, a lot of kind of really mixed reviews. Her grandmother dies, and her grandmother is this kind of like famous author of kind of like, I think it's like fairy tale kind of books, and then her mother goes missing. So it's our main character Alice. She has to kind of help find her mum and kind of look for her mum and find out what happens, and she is helped along by this, I think it's a boy, and basically he has been a huge fan of her grandmother's books and they join together to go find Alice's mum. That's as much as I know about it. Like I said, it's had really mixed reviews, so not sure what it's going to be like, but I'm looking forward to starting it anyway. Class of History of Magic, which is to read a historical fiction novel. I have picked up The Book Thief, and that is by Marcus Zasak, or Zasak, I'm not sure. I've heard so much great things about this book. It's one that I don't know a lot about, just that I probably should have read it years ago, but I'm really looking forward to reading that one. I know that it's set in Nazi Germany, and I believe it follows a young main character. Yep, she's 9 years old, living in a foster home, and she steals books. That's all I know so far. I'm really looking forward to this one. I can imagine that it's going to be a really upsetting book to read, but looking forward to it anyway. Legal Studies class, the challenge for that one was to read a non-fiction book, and for that one I picked up Living with a Serial Killer by Delia Bellmer. This one follows Delia as she is living with a serial killer. She starts dating this man named John and slowly comes to realise that he is not as perfect as he makes out. So John starts becoming quite abusive with her, and it follows Delia's story as she's trying to get away from him and as she discovers who he really is. So I'm looking forward to this one a lot. It sounds really, really interesting, and I do love a true crime story as well. Oh, hello cat. For the potions class, you had to read a book that had alchemy in it. I don't actually even know what alchemy means, but cat. According to Twitter, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor fits that, so that's what I'm reading. I know nothing about this book, just that a lot of people love it on BookTube, so I'm super looking forward to reading that one. It's absolutely massive. Quite a lot of the books that I've picked for this month are really, really big, so I don't think I'll get through them all, but I'm looking forward to this one. I've heard such good things about it. Finally, the last challenge that I am going to be completing is the Transfiguration class, and that is to read a book that has transfiguration in it, or like shape-shifting and stuff like that. And for that challenge I am reading Nimona, and that is by Noelle Stevenson. Nimona follows our main character, whose name is Nimona, and she wants to join forces with the kind of supervillain in the city that she lives in. She wants to join forces with him and basically become a badass villain. And I just want to show you guys some of the pictures in here. I think it looks absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited to pick this one up. This is actually the first like graphic novel or comic book or whatever you want to call it that I will have ever read, so I am so looking forward to this one. Those are all of the books on my April TBR. Now there are a lot, and a lot of them are really, really big. So I don't think I'm going to get around to all of them. This month I'm doing things a little bit differently. I'm actually going to be vlogging for the whole month. So I'll be putting up weekly vlogs of how I'm getting on, so please stay tuned for that. My first one will be going up next Monday, so just in a couple days time, and that'll be from like the beginning of April up until the Sunday night before. I'm really enjoying vlogging so far, so I hope you guys enjoy the finished result of those. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you are taking part in the magical readathon, please let me know down below which books you are going to be reading, or if any of the books that you've picked are the same as mine. Please give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below, just so you can keep updated on all of the videos that I'm posting. Also check me out on both Instagram and Twitter. My name is Carrie Dewey on both of those, the same way it is spelled down here on this channel as well. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!